Okay. What's up, everybody? Okay, so welcome to Random Thoughts of AG, except tonight I'm taking over because it's ladies' night. I'm going to start off going ahead. I'm going to hit y'all with my random thought of the day. All right, so boom. Right now, I'm really thinking that we're currently in a sassy nigga apocalypse or sassy dude apocalypse. In other words, we have a crap ton of guys and men in the world who are so comfortable speaking on the female experience and anatomy, despite finding it completely offensive to be considered feminine themselves, which I feel like is so feminine. But that's just me. I mean, if I was a dude, I don't feel like I would be speaking on the female experience. But hey, I mean, if that's what they want to do. But you know, that's just my random thought. Hey everybody.
Hey.
Can y'all hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay. Hey everybody. I'm Destiny. I'm Eric's wife, Nicole's little sister. And I'm stepping in for Eric tonight to host the Ladies Night edition. So yeah, like I said, my name is Destiny. I'm 21. I'm a senior at Winston-Salem State University. And that's just a little bit about me. If you guys want to introduce yourselves, who wants to go first?
I don't mind going first.
You can go first.
Oh, well, my name is Allura. I think I'm freezing up over here. I don't know if that's my internet or what. But my name is Allura. I'm the host of the Allura Hour podcast with Allura DNA and the Allura Hour network. And I'm excited to be here and chat it up with you ladies.
I'm an artist. I am a realtor and I do graphic design, and I'm also excited to be here and talk and discuss and, you know, get some shit off our chest.
I guess I'll go next. I'm Zykia McCoy. I am the host and creator of Cooking with Positivity podcast. And I'm excited to be here too. I thought I was gonna get a little dose of Eric's, you know, like he got on my show, but surprise.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hopefully I'm not too bad.
No.
And yeah, but we still gonna do it justice. I'm gonna do it justice for him. I got you.
My name is Goddess. I am the host of Unhinged While Anchored, and I am just starting to come back online.
Hey y'all, this is Secret. I'm also a graphic and web designer. Link right here, pal. Okay, but yeah, nice to meet y'all. Ready to chat it up?
Nice to meet all of you. I think we lost somebody, didn't we?
We did. Yeah. I think her internet was freezing up.
Well, she'll pop back in. And when she pop back in, we'll let her introduce herself. We're going to get this thing on the road. All right, so boom. Eric has some questions, right, y'all? And they were submitted by me. So he wanted me to ask y'all and see how y'all feel about the questions. Are y'all up to it?
I'm always up to it.
Okay. So we're going to get into it?
All right.
All right, we're going to get into it. Okay, so boom. The first question is, oh my goodness. Who is more to blame for hookup culture, men or women?
Men.
Okay. What's everybody else's votes?
I think it's a part of human nature.
I think it's mutual.
I think it's part of human nature. I think hookup culture is just another way to say everybody hooking up. You know what I mean? Everybody been hooking up for years, so I don't think it's really a man or woman thing. I think it's just people who want to hook up but don't want to be in a relationship.
It's kind of like the peanut butter. I've always compared it to the squeezable peanut butter. Everybody needs that instant gratification, like they need it right now, but then they want to be able to put it back on the shelf and not have it expire. And so that's kind of where I've always seen this kind of speed date hookup kind of thing. It's just spreadable peanut butter.
So what I've witnessed, it seems like I would say women contribute to it more so, because back in the day, hookup, of course they happened, but it wasn't a complete culture. Like, men didn't just go the other way as soon as the woman said, nah, give me a couple days. You had to go to a lady of the night if you wanted, quick. But now you can go to somebody who swear up and down they want a relationship with 10 kids, but they getting it in with no kind of commitment. So I don't know.
Right.
To me, I think we control access to our bodies. Of course, to a certain degree, there are some people who come in who go extra with it, but for the most part, we control access to our bodies, and we just been giving it up.
I agree.
Did you catch the question?
I just kind of heard what they were saying, so I kind of got what you guys were talking about, like the hookup culture and everything about that. So my take on it is, I think women are now more confident with their sexuality, so they're not afraid to pretty much explore. So we kind of know what we want, and we're not I'm not going to say we, but a lot of women aren't in the business of waiting anymore. Most women used to sit back and wait for the gentleman to approach her. And now women are pretty much, they're approaching men, sending men drinks and taking over what they want.
But okay, I wanna respond to what Secret said and Latone, right? That's how you say your name? I want to make sure I'm saying it right.
Yeah.
Right, because I say men because, like you just said, men are the ones who admittedly started this culture. Now we women, we're just following suit. We can't get what we want 9 times out of 10. We want the commitment. We want the guy to settle down, but they're still in the culture, feeding the culture. So what do? Do we sit on the fence and
we
cry?
Don't have to participate in it.
We don't.
It leaves us left behind, but by who? Like, I don't mind getting left behind by the wrong person. Like,
I don't either. You're right about that.
True.
As somebody in college right now, to keep it a band with y'all, I feel like hookup culture isn't anything new. I feel like it gets this whole new title and identity from the rise of social media. However, people have been just hooking up for forever. It used to just be like undercover type time. I feel like a lot of it was like under disguise of like a little sneaky link or whatever, and it's definitely layers to hookup cultures. I mean, there's the people who, like someone said, I can't remember because everybody was saying really, really cool stuff, but like whoever said it, like, you know what I'm saying, just take your ownership. But it was just like a lot of women are becoming more comfortable in their sexuality and their sexual experiences and stuff like that, and just going out and doing what they want to do, being unapologetic with it. So I feel like as far as hookup culture and stuff and who's to blame, I mean, initially and to a certain extent, I definitely feel like men benefit from it more than women, simply for the fact that women are still judged for, regardless if you choose to like keep it to yourself versus if you decide to be like, I'm gonna go out here, have a hot girl summer and I'm gonna live it up, # reclaiming slut and all this other stuff. Like, there's no winning. There's absolutely no winning to it. So I feel like, I honestly don't, for the negative connotations associated with it, I would like say it's linked to like some of the activities and perceptions of men. But as far as like it being more normalized, I definitely want to say like women being more comfortable and like integrating into that society and that specific those specific experiences are like, you know, that's
I would say.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I would say that I would give both of us the blame 50-50 because men can't do what we don't allow. So it's just like men out here. I'm gonna give this Ariana Grande situation, how she's messed with a married man and people are going after the man, but what they don't understand, if women we withhold, then men like that can't get access to us. When we make things so much more accessible, then men are going to take they're gonna take the whole damn leash. It's not a little bit of yardage, it's just gonna take the whole foot, you know. But I think as women, I think that we are held to a different standard and a higher standard, and for that reason is because we're more mature than men. And I think that women, we get upset because we're like, well, men can do this but we can't. But that's because developmentally our brains are way more mature than men's, because a man could be 29 and a woman could be 29, but a 29-year-old can still act like a 23-year-old. But a 29-year-old woman, she's already established. She already has her goals. And it's just the way we're programmed. I think it's natural selection. I think nature designed us to be ahead of men, you know. I think if women really ruled the world would be a better place.
Well, I definitely agree with that part. For sure.
I don't. I think that women have just mastered the male mentality. And so we've always been people who take something in and we make it better. So we've sat and we've watched these men be hoes. They jump into our DMs, they dick pic us till forever. And now we're sending the dick pics. You know, and so they're not used to that. And so some of them feel emasculated. And so then we create this new conflict. But if we don't respond to them, we're stuck up. If we do respond to them, we're a hoe. And we're never given the kind of conversation that allows us any kind of intellect. It's either, hey, baby, come sit on my face, or what can you do for me? It's never any kind of mutual exchange.
But how we mastered it, though, I think that's an illusion. I think a lot of women want to think that they mastered it. You can think like a man, but at the end of the day, men are master manipulators. Women, we have some women out here who are really good at it, but no matter how many women you see play this game, women always fall to that trap of emotions. They always get caught up in that heroin addiction called love. You know, it's going to slap a bitch just once. You know, a woman always says, I can do this, I can play the field without having emotions. But it's a false narrative, because the way our bodies are set up, men enter us. And when you have someone enter you, when you have that one particular person enter you a different way than any other, and they did smooth talk you and they didn't checked off everything in that box, no matter how big of a player you are, no matter how much you think like a man, that man is going to always be 10 steps ahead of you, just because we are not wired like them. No matter how much you want to think you are, we're not. I don't think we play the game better than men. I think we're smarter, but I don't think that we play the game better than men.
I definitely get what you're saying for sure. And some of it is genetics, but I definitely feel like what makes everybody be like, oh yeah, like men really be running game, it's like the way they be thinking about everything and their ability to suppress their emotions and to just like put them first to get what they want to get. And if you are able to do that as a woman, then you can do the stuff too, regardless if you want to, like, at the end of the day, some people are able to turn their emotions on and off. And while women are deemed more emotional beings, I have come into contact with a nice amount of people who are more than capable of running game, like really just being able to the same way, just get what they need to get and keep it pushing. I mean, like, I definitely feel like it's possible to, like, quote unquote think like a man, but I wouldn't even say at this point it's thinking like a man. It's just like just putting you first, because that's usually what it is, like, or it's just being honest with yourself. I don't want a relationship right now, but I still want to get what I want to get, so we're just gonna shut all that down. So I mean, like, I have come across some people older than me, because like I said, I'm only 21, and then people just my age who are exposed to like their mothers or their aunties or just people in the community just being able to do that. So I mean, like, if you were raised like a man, then I really feel like, or being exposed to that type of like perspective, and I definitely feel like it's possible. I mean, it's like,
well, I also think it's perspective too. You got to remember, our aunts, our grandmothers, they had a goal in mind, and no matter how many men they came across, if you had a family, the goal was not to fall in love, it was to get these bills paid.
Right.
Because the moment you fell in love was the moment you fell for the okie doke. So those women, they knew how to control their emotions, and what that they were turned off, they sacrificed those emotions for the better of the family. And then, I just think nowadays the generation of men are harder to fall in love with. Like, a lot Secret, a lot of people like Secret, they know if I only been in love once, my husband was my first love, but I have kids with other guys. I never loved them. I never had no emotional connect with them. It was just, okay, let me get mine. I'm feeling this. And it was always them seeking me, wanting to be in a relationship, but my mindset wasn't there. My mindset was my children and being, taken care of. I think I was like 17 with my first place, and not having to worry about a bill because one of the 4 men were going to pay that. One was going to pay the rent. The other was going to pay the electric. I had one in the Army paying the phone bill because, back in the day, we had that not AT&T, it was an MCI. So, MCI was quick to turn that phone off. So those bills had to get paid. And I think just knowing what my priorities were, that's when I was able to set aside my feelings. But once I was, solidified in my space and I knew I was good, and this dude just creeped in, and I don't know, I fell for the okie doke, y'all.
But wouldn't that be like part of the whole hookup culture thing of like getting what you want until you find the person that you actually wanted from type time?
I think the hookup culture is just randoms. Back in the day, we had a list. I had a list. It was like it was like an application period. You had to put in your application. You had to check these boxes off. And the thing is, I just stuck with those 3 because I knew they were safe. And in their head, they thought, they were faithful to me. I just wasn't faithful. I mean, I wasn't into nothing, but, I knew that they weren't, messing around. So it was just those 3. So, and plus all of them we're not intimate with all of them, so it's like maybe 2 of them I was intimate with. The other one, he just going to pay those bills just because he wanted to breathe the same air as me. Now, back in the day, y'all know you can get a kiss from a man. Those men will pay your bills. Now you got to get us some cutty. It's a whole different ball game. So I don't know if it's a part of the hookup culture.
I definitely don't know that I would be an expert in this because I have never had a man pay my bills. So I didn't receive any child support. I just never have been that into anything. So my perspective is definitely unique to this situation.
Yeah, and I don't get child support. I never received child support neither. I was blessed to have people who, did right. So I didn't really need it. But to those women who get child support, kudos. You need that. Y'all deserve that. Hey, wait, hold on. I feel like I'm on here with a bunch of young. Y'all all look young.
I'm 45.
You're 45? Okay, yeah. Still look young, look good. Black don't crack. Okay.
I'm just the young one.
Yeah,
I'm the young one. I'm gonna take it. Okay. I'm young, but I ain't stupid, so I can hold on. So cool.
You said Salem, right?
Yeah, it was Salem State University, SU. But I'm
gonna piggyback off Alora because I feel like you're right. Women's emotion do come to play, but I think the whole hookup thing comes from exhaustion from like relationships that don't work. Because I know that I started to like hook up more so when after I got my heart broken. You know what I'm saying? Like after I was giving my all to this guy and he really did not give 2 shits about me. None at all. And then once I realized that, I'm like, all these niggas out here been wanting me, you know what? Why the fuck would I give myself to this one person who doesn't care when I can explore my horizons of different guys who and different ways of being treated, and you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's not even about being treated; it's about doing what I wanted to do at that time because I didn't do it before. So,
Right.
Yeah.
honestly,
I appreciate all y'all's perspectives on that. We're gonna get to the next question though, because we could talk about all these different layers all day.
I know
But we wanna go ahead. So the next little thing was with the normalization of people identifying as women that were not born or assigned female, do y'all feel that having the option to legally identify as a woman diminishes what it means to be a woman from birth? And
No.
if you need me to,
No.
okay.
No.
I feel like people are accommodating for gender dysmorphia, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. Like at all. Like I love everybody. If you love yourself, if you want to be whoever you want to be, and you would rather be dressed some way, I would respect that because I would want respect as well. But at the end of the day, I feel like I'm a woman and I was born a woman, and nobody can ever take that from me, no matter what you do. Now, when it comes to rights and laws, things like that, and you start to kind of see things get weird, and maybe trans women might get the same rights as women, or like more rights than women. You know what I'm saying? Like, because think about it, like there's a huge debacle about abortion all over the world, but like when it comes to getting gender specific surgeries, there's like, just do it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's just kind of weird. Like that's just kind of weird, you know. But at the end of the day,
it's not weird. It's wrong, and you're right about
it's
wrong.
I respect everybody's decision with what you want to do and how you want to live. Because at the end of the day, I'm a woman. Ain't nobody taking that from me at all. You can't. So
I concur.
Transgenderism just kind of comes with way too much gray area to me.
Mm-hmm.
If that's what you want to do, you go, friend. Girlfriend, whatever your pronouns are, you go, friend. But I think the erasure of biological womanhood comes in where you want me to say birth person? No.
Right.
Birth mother.
Right.
Birth mother.
Right.
If he still has a vagina, you're his mother. You're the child's mother. If you still have your vagina, sir, you're the child's mother. That's all it is to it. Now, what happened on paper? That's all it is to it.
Mm-hmm.
What happens? What you call yourself inside the house? You do your thing, but let's not muddy the waters on papers. We have to, census records and all kind of stuff that we have to fill out along the years because for anthropology's sake, for the purpose of mankind's history, we need to know what biological people are having children, where they're doing it. There are actual logical reasons that it should be on paper that a woman gave birth to this child.
Right.
What you call yourself in your house, it is what it is. But yeah, it just kind of erases womanhood, especially with the whole, period situation going on right now. That's definitely trying to erase womanhood, in my opinion. But damn, like you can be you without taking away from me. Like,
because it doesn't make you less than.
It really doesn't. You still identify as what you are. And if we're being perfectly honest, I am not any kind of phobic or anything, but at the end of the day, I think trans people need to also be considerate of, I have been a woman my entire life. My entire life. You have started moving into womanhood or manhood or whatever you're moving into just over the last few years. Like, if A plus B has equals C my whole life, yes, you're saying it equals F now, but give me some time to make logic of. So I think trans people need to be a little more mindful that their decision to transition wasn't as doesn't equate to how quickly it is for us to take on that transition.
And I kind of agree when it comes to changing. You're changing the English language, you're changing science, you're trying to change things that have always been the way they are, and they don't change because they are the English language or they are biology. And like when it comes to sexual identity and like non-binary, when people want to be called they, them, that honestly isn't proper English when you're talking about one singular person. So it does get confusing for people who aren't used to talking that way about one person. Like, oh,
and it's not for the sake of offense. It's just
not at all. Not at all. It's just
we're hardwired.
I'm accustomed to, and like honestly, if I do care, then I will definitely try and get that right and address you how you would want to be addressed. But it's like you said, just give me some time, because you got to understand this is not,
But put some respect on the women that you're imitating. That's my whole thing. You can transition however you like, but I've been seeing so many trans people. I don't know what it is, phobic towards us, because they act like they do everything better than us. When you see a trans person trashing a woman, is, oh, I do this better than you. I look better than you. My hair look better than you. Can never be more a woman of me than me. And people don't understand that works on a natural woman's psyche, because now not only do we have to worry about everything else in the world, now we have to worry about a group of people coming for us. And oftentimes I feel uncomfortable because I've walked into places where it was a group of trans and they give you the up and down look. It's like, dang, bro, but dang, I got to deal with this with natural women. Now I got to deal with this from the trans community. But if I say something to them, then I'm homophobic, I'm transphobic, and, you're getting called out on the internet, you're getting canceled. But what about us though? What about our rights as a woman? We just got that law where they can't compete in our competitions. But why did it take for, Congress to get involved and our local lawmakers to say that, hey, listen, this isn't fair to women? We've already faced so many different things in life. I understand that they have too, but it's just like, if you understand the struggle, then join us in solidarity and don't bash us, and we'll have your back. But when you get online bashing women, or you're trying to compete against us, and you won't do that towards someone else that was naturally born the way that you were born, that makes me feel like you're a bully,
I agree with that, because I feel like when it comes to talking about this whole topic, I feel like women are talking about the science of it, the biology of it, like what's the truth.
Right.
Then it gets turned into what we look like, or what you look like, or appearance, or this or that. Like, it has nothing to do with appearance.
Right.
Because there are women with masculine features and there are men with feminine features. Like, it has nothing to do with appearance, because there's people that look different in all aspects. But it doesn't change. The XX chromosome and the XY chromosome doesn't change. In that spectrum, there's a spectrum in between there, and then like hermaphrodites and things like that. Yes, those are people who have different things going on with their body that they can claim, okay, I have a uterus, but I still have, like, hermaphrodites. They have both.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, those are the people who I consider like on a spectrum. And then what I was going to say was, I don't get into this argument really, because I know what the truth is. Honestly, it's like arguing with people who started off with a dysphoria about themselves. Like, these people had dysphoria about themselves, and you're arguing with people who have a dysphoria about. I don't know how else to say that. Like, it's like, okay, you know what, and that's how I feel about it. Like, you got it. But what you were talking about when it comes to Congress and laws and the things that are condoned, yes, I think that's where our argument should be brought towards, is like what's condoned and what's allowed and like what's not allowed. Because there's no way it should be hard for someone to get an abortion in the area, but so easy for somebody else to go and get their penis cut off. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, or you're giving kids hormone blockers, which is actually chemical castration, to turn them into a female at a young age because their parents allowed it. And it's like, it kind of doesn't make sense. That
should be illegal. I don't even know how that's legal, but you can't get an abortion.
No, there are people who know. There are kids who know from day 5 that they're alive. I don't feel like what they told me I am. They just know that that's part of their mindset. I don't like. I was okay. Yeah, they put boy on my birth certificate, but they just know early on. I don't.
But the science behind it says that children who go through those sex changes at an early age, they end up self-mutilating themselves when they get older because they cut off a part of them. And it's just like when you're so young. So the human brain is still
It's
unknown.
It's still moldable at that age. And I'm not condoning sex change at all. Well, not at all, but just in children at all. But rather, what I'm saying is they know from day one, so they might start living as a girl or whatever early on.
And that's okay.
And living as in, that gives the family time to start saying she instead of he or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But then there are some people who they're like, they've been thinking about it for years, and then they just finally come out of the girl closet, like 1 week, and it's a hard transition from one to the other. And it's just like, let me adjust.
Right.
So I think they need to, the trans community needs to give heterosexual or cisgender people some grace. Maybe come up with their own terms that don't erase biological womanhood, because Latinx will never grow on me. It's either Latina or Latino. Latinx will never grow on me. Calling me cisgender, it will never grow on me. I think in their quest for identification and validation in society, they need to do a better job of not trying to erase biological womanhood, but rather creating their own lane without riding our freaking backs.
Right.
Like we fought our fight.
I think some of them do. I don't think this is only for specific trans people in the trans community. Like, it's not all, because there are a lot of trans women that I've heard speak that know what's up and what's down and know what's real and what's not. Like, what I'm saying? They're not in the delusion thinking like they could be a woman or they want to be a woman, or they know that they're in the category of trans women. They know that does not compare to being a real woman.
But I'm seeing that more so from. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, sweetheart. I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead. Yeah.
What you're saying, I'm agreeing with what you're saying. But when I see that from the older generation of trans women. Because my cousin, she's a trans, and she never speaks bad about women. And it's just like, I think the newer age people, they want to fit into every box. And it's just like, baby, you've been accepted. You don't need to fit in every single box. Every group is not for you. And like you said, with this they, them, and that don't make sense. We didn't grow up in school learning that. It's not even proper English. And it just confuses kids. And I think it's just a way to complicate things. They feel like it's like this. Okay, because I don't want to sound like a horrible person. I just don't know too many women who were born women who would go to the White House and expose their breasts. Then we have the trans lady who went to the White House, exposed her breasts. It was because she felt like she just needed to do the most to show like, okay, look, I'm a woman. And I think that they don't understand that we accept them, but we just want y'all to respect us, and we'll respect you. And just know that everything that I grew up believing in, you shouldn't be trying to change it. What you believe in is what you believe in, but don't try to force all that down my throat. It's kind of why people walk away from religion, especially when it's force fed to you. And I think they're trying to force feed themselves onto us so aggressively, and we're just like, it's too much. It's just too much.
Yeah, I feel like, honestly, we can't. I feel like the major issues that keep coming up is the fact that there's a lack of respect from everybody, honestly. And so I'm 21. So how I grew up versus how everybody older than me grew up is very, very different. Like, I have been in space, like, it's now in school where, like, it's meant when you give your introductions, what's your name, what's your classification, where you're from, who you people them, and what are your pronouns. And like, so these things is like, it's normal to me. Like, I mean, I have non-binary friends. I know people who identify as transgender, and I mean, I definitely can see there's like people in general are on a spectrum. And I feel like it's very, very important to not associate negative emotions and perspectives with one body of people based off of a few bad apples or people who don't express themselves in a manner that we would deem it socially acceptable. I just feel like a lot of issues and disconnects with people not feeling respected and accepted could be easily solved if people were more committed to communicating to comprehend versus just simply running off at the mouth just so they could be heard, because it's not really penetrating and everybody's yelling respect, but if everybody was actually respecting each other the way they were and being considerate and being mindful and stuff like that and truly being accepting of each other, then a lot of the comments and issues and stuff that, I mean, somebody always gonna have a problem with something, and that's just the reality because everyone's different. But there is everything has a common foundation, and that foundation is respect. So, yeah, some people be off the wall, but like some people who are naturally born female be off the wall too. Because I understand some people say some off the wall stuff regardless. And while it might not be the most like simple thing to adjust to change, especially if your reality has always been one certain way and you've always seen just male and female, for some people it might be a bit harder to adjust to, but it's definitely possible. It's definitely possible because there's people whose grandparents are 80 something years old. You know good and well them 80 something year old people was not growing up with people just blatantly out here living their best lives in their true selves and walking in their authenticity. So if they can do it, people who aren't that old can do it too. Yeah, I get people be like, oh yeah, the pronouns and stuff like that. But honestly, there's no way to rationalize somebody else's reality. And the sooner people stop trying to rationalize it and make sense of somebody else's reality, the sooner we can just get to the acceptance. As long as they're respecting me, I'm respecting you. I don't need to understand why you identify the way you do.
But that's not the case.
Yeah,
they're not trying to rationalize their reality. It's just that if if there was some kind of transition where it was a long, pretty lengthy transition, but like I have a friend who was friends with a friend group as a female. He fell out with somebody in the friend group, and now he's a male, and him and the friend are friends again. And my homegirl just like, wait, weren't you just? It's gonna take me a little bit to call you a male, and I mean, it's not trying to rationalize what his decisions were.
No, that's understandable. That's not what I'm saying. Like, I definitely understand like it taking people time to get accustomed to the new terminology. But I was saying was that I feel like people should definitely be open to it and they can't just shut themselves off. That was just my thing on it. Like, I understand it's gonna take time, but like just don't.
I agree with you 100% when it comes to disrespect all around the board. When it comes to women, trans women, men, like trans men, everybody deserves respect, regardless of how they want to live. As long as they're not hurting nobody else, everybody deserves respect. You know what I'm saying? And You're right. I've heard women say some off the wall shit to trans women or behind their backs or whatever the case may be is. And like I've heard trans women speak like sometimes they just don't want to be pointed out that way. Like, the whole, that's a man. That's a man. Like, that's embarrassing, and it makes them feel like cornered. You know what I mean? Like, especially in public, and it's like random people doing it. You know what I mean? Like, that's, I can understand that being like disrespectful and feeling like, damn, I don't even want to be out in public. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it makes me feel ostracized in a way.
Exactly. Yes. And I don't agree with that. I really don't. And that's why I say I respect their decisions. And it's not really hard for me
I'm gonna challenge this after you're done.
Yeah, it's not hard for me to like change my vernacular to accommodate what they want to be called. It's really not. I'm just saying that I know for certain people it is. And I've caught myself misgendering someone before, like somebody who was non-binary. But for them, they understood. They were like, no, it's fine. I went back and told the person, like, I realized that I shouldn't do it. I really apologize for that. Like, next time I'll make sure I address you as such, as how you want to be addressed. And she was like, or they were like, it's fine. You know what I mean? Like, it's totally fine. understand it. It's not really a big deal to me. I just want people to know that this.
Can you lean into your mic a little bit? It's getting muffled.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you was cool. You was just like getting far, and I wanted to make sure we heard you as clearly as we could.
Yeah. So she was understanding pretty much. She was like, it's not a big deal. I'm not tripping about it. You know, like this is what I identify as, but I'm not gonna make it a problem with someone misgendering me. You know what I'm saying? Because honestly, on the real, like I've been misgendered for this whole gender experience. Like people used to call me a man for real. People used to be like, "Are you trans?" And I'm like,
you don't even look like a man.
I don't know, but you know, people. I think they were just being assholes, to be honest. But like, I feel like I've known a lot of women who get misgendered, like biological women. So it's like we all get misgendered. We all go through the same experiences. Like you said, the respect thing. We're all butting heads, but nobody's listening. We got 2 ears and 1 mouth. We got to listen more than we speak.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Before we move,
said about the respect level across the board, I feel like you can be who the hell you are. That doesn't diminish who I am.
Right.
In any form of fashion. When people are not approaching each other respectfully, you're trans, queer, whatever, and you're saying, I'm better than a woman, you're not coming at me respectfully.
Right.
And that's where the problem lies. I don't feel like that diminishes me as a woman.
Right.
I don't feel like anybody can take that away from me. I feel like that takes away your respect for me and the respect I have for you in return because you came at me disrespectfully.
Right. And that's why we have like really good examples of trans, I guess, allies, trans female allies. Like I love Flame Monroe. Like Flame will say any day of the week, I am not a woman. I just look good as hell. Like,
right. But keep it real though. Keeps it real.
Yes, ma'am. And then we also have our T.S. Madison who does the same thing. Like, like she'll say, I look good as hell, but I ain't no woman. But again, like Allura said, that's the older generation. I haven't really encountered or followed a lot of the younger ones, but we do have some good allies who be like, hey, y'all, we ain't no women. We just, you know, we identify as
And Destiny, can I say this before you move on? I'm so sorry.
Yes, well, I was just gonna say, Tawanica joined. I wanted her to give an opportunity to like introduce herself right quick.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hi, you guys. My name is Tawanica Kearney.
Tawanica Kearney. Okay. Or you can go ahead and say what you was gonna say, and then we're gonna move on to the next question so we can get through this really easy.
Okay. So I wanted to say, I agree with you. On some of it, respect. It should be respected all around the board. Your name's Latone?
Yes.
Like you were saying, how people being, that's a man, that's disrespectful. We don't need to do that. Give that person their space. But I also don't think acceptance is something that should be forced on everyone because not everyone. So I believe that some people are rooted in their religion. As long as they respect the trans community and they're not saying hateful things, they have the right not to accept their lifestyle. I don't think that should be forced on to anyone. That's just like saying if was a Christian and I don't accept that, but I want to harm her. That's horrible. You know, so if Christians, Catholics, if they're saying this is something that they do not believe in and is rooted in them, then I don't think that we should force them into acceptance. I think we should tell them, listen, you ain't got to accept it, but you must respect it. Meaning if you see them out and about, don't shun them. Don't say horrible things. Don't do that. But I don't think that everyone is in the space where they're okay with that. You know, I am, but I have heard people tell me why they don't believe that to be true. But then, you know, a trans person or, you know, they can say, you can't say anything about them, right? But they could take down one man, and we see it often, and just mess up that whole man's lifestyle. So I'm saying acceptance to, if a trans person approaches a man and a man says, no, thank you, they automatically go to social media and call that person a homophobic or a transphobic, right? And then what happens? We all accept that. And I don't think that acceptance should be just given out like that. I don't believe that. I think that tolerance, maybe, but not acceptance, because if we've all been trained our whole lives to believe in one thing, and just because one group of people say, no, this is what I want to create, this is what I'm going to change, we're just going to erase the whole history of Christianity or Catholic or whatever. That's erasing a lot of people's heritage. Doesn't that do this justice to the people who aren't trans or, other?
I feel like that's a slippery slope, but Destiny said we got to move on because we could talk about this topic all day, it seems like.
Yeah, it's almost 8 o'clock.
I feel like that's a slippery slope. You muted.
Yep.
Okay.
So boom. Next question. Other than money, education, and protection, what are some other qualities do women look for in a man? And then I say, like, for the sake of like just making sure we have our conversation and like keep it pushing, let's like, if we could think about like take 2 seconds to think about like our top 1 or 2, and then like we could just like and like share it that way.
Personality, I think.
That's a good one.
Oh, I didn't hear what you say, Goddess.
So
personality.
Oh.
So Monica said personality.
Okay.
I just want my man to be able to be vulnerable with me. I want him to know that if he is not going to be able to carry the load, I got us. If he is not going to be working, I got us. As long as you trust in me and you can cry before me, I got you. That's the only thing on me.
Yeah, I want to piggyback off of Goddess and say like communication.
So you're going into a
willing to open up and talk things out, no matter what the uncomfortability is of the situation. Is willing to open up and, like you said, cry and have these conversations so that we can move past and move forward. Because I think communication is like huge. Honesty and communication is huge in a relationship because that goes with the trust. If you have the communication and honesty, there's the trust there. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a big thing for me.
Latone, that was mine. Honesty and communication for sure. Because if a person could be honest with you 100%, you don't have to worry about those other things because you know they're going to come into play. You know the protection is there because they're telling you up front, this is what I can do. Here's what I can provide. This is that. They're communicating those things. So I feel like Latone said, if you have those 2 things, everything else just stacks up.
That's facts.
Those are definitely, I feel like, fundamental traits that you need to have in a partner if you're going to have like a relationship that's long-term and like actually progressive instead of something that's just like ain't worth nothing essentially. Did you want to say something, Swanika?
Well, actually, when you're doing a long-term relationship, you got to be compatible with the person, first of all. You got to be not going in and willing to do everything, whether they can hold their end of the bargain or not. No, you have to set guidelines and goals.
That's true.
In order to have a relationship, you have to have a foundation first.
Yeah.
So your foundation is with communication. That's your first key, is being able to talk to a person, because some people cannot communicate. You have to first know how to communicate as in a relationship. If something is bothering you, don't hold it in. Be able to communicate to that person what they're doing to make you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Or what you like in that person. Because if I don't know it's offending you, then I keep doing it and you're getting offended and you're not telling me, how is that helping in our relationship? That's harming our relationship.
Yeah.
I feel like no, go ahead.
I was going to say, I would want someone who's able to take accountability for themselves. I want someone where I don't always have to correct them, because I think
Yes.
if you always have to tell someone, hey, this is the issue, and women, we often know when we're in the wrong, and we know how to correct ourselves, or we know how to come to the person that we offended and say, hey, you know what, I'm sorry I said this like that. I apologize if I hurt you or anything. I think I want someone who has that ability, because that is so important.
Yes.
Yeah.
Honestly, for me, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I can't really quantify. Well, not quantify, but qualify it as one word or another. But it's nothing like seeing a man manning for me. Like, I love to see a man manning. Is that you communicating? My neck just got a little looser, buddy. You communicate with me? Did you just pay that? Bro.
Oh yeah.
Just gas in my vehicle, bro. My neck just got a little looser. Like just a man doing man stuff. Like, I don't know if we can curse, but I like to curse. Just a man doing man shit just does something for me. Like, I don't know. It might just be the auntie in me. I don't know, but just seeing a man like communicate and not just saying, "Look, how are you?" and with the R and you, like full sentences. Why are you communicating so well with me, sir? You want to get married? Like, what are you doing? What you want this Miller highlights in your hand? Like, I will do it for you. Like, just planning things and holding my hand to make sure I make it across the street safely. Caring about my well-being, not just so you can put something in me, but just so I can be present for you and you can be present for me. Like, that is everything to me. Just like a man manning is everything for me.
It's being methodic.
Nurturing is a good one for me, because I feel like nurturing is something that's genetic for a woman. I think that comes naturally for a woman to nurture her child, nurture her man, and things like that. And I feel like a lot of men don't have that, and that comes into play as to why they don't know how to treat their women in certain ways, because like women need to be nurtured sometimes. Like, they don't always have to be the nurturer for every single body. You know what I'm saying? Like, the man has to know how to nurture so that he can give you a break and you can feel appreciated, you can feel loved, and you can feel nurtured. You know what I'm saying? So nurturing is something that is a good quality.
It'd be something to pour back into you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Okay. Y'all dropping gems, taking notes what y'all saying. Okay, so the next question is why? Okay, so it's written as, how come when a dad gives his opinion on what his daughter wears, it's considered being protective, but as soon as he does it for his wife, it's considered being controlling?
Because the wife is not a child. Point blank period.
Right. Exactly.
What are you talking about?
I'm
next
grown.
question, like.
Okay, that's the one. Yeah, that's the one.
I think it could be a protecting thing too. Like, because sometimes I just think men. My husband, you wearing that out? Where are you going with that? And it's more so the area I'm going, and he's just like, this area, there's people. Right. So he's always thinking about who I'm going to be around and who is going to attract, and just the dangers, because I get lectured every time. Like, okay, you got your gun, right? I'm like, babe, I got my gun. Okay. Make sure your phone's charged. I got my phone charger. Take it back up, pair of clothes, just in case.
He's not telling you, babe, go back in there, change your outfit.
Yeah, that's care.
That's being protective.
He could do that.
But if you got low self-esteem, he'll boost it up.
Yes, listen.
Right.
That's a different approach.
And
you talk to me like you talk to our daughter, we got an issue.
Tone and context does also matter. So like Laura was saying, with her husband, it depends on where she's going or whatever. So tone, of course, how it's delivered can make a difference. But go change that. Fix that tone and give me some context to why you think I should change. And if I agree with you, I may.
Right.
It's still my now.
It's all in your approach, though. It's all in being married for almost 20 years. It's your approach.
Mm-hmm.
It's how you approach a person and how they come to you. Because they can say something and we can interpret it, even as women, because we can say something like they're watching a game and we yell, not intentionally, and they take it the wrong way, and that causes the argument. So it's how you deliver it, either woman or man.
What were you gonna say, Goddess?
Oh, and I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I was just gonna say I definitely have been quiet because I am the odd man out here. I come from a dominating kind of relationship, so I want my man to tell me what to do. So it doesn't, there's no qualifier for me. I think that every relationship has its own expectations. So any opinion we give is based off of our own relationships. So if I want to say, hey, can I post this picture to the guy that I've chosen to be my lead? And he says no, I'm not offended by that. It's just a different level of respect, and it is all contingent on the parameters that you've set within your own relationship.
But if you have that dynamic, then it works. If that's the relationship, that's our relationship. Yeah. As long as it's like a mutual understanding and not like, oh, I was doing this.
Yeah, you're not
together, and now you think
because I'm not your child.
But
It's
God is,
respect, it's
right?
respect.
Yeah, it's definitely a respect thing. But God is outside of sending those perhaps provocative or whatever pictures to your person of interest. Would your partner have an issue with you posting it for like general viewing online?
No, not at all.
See?
Well, what happens when that man tells you he don't want you to post something that you think you look cute in, and then he goes around and likes those same type of pictures that women post, whether it's ass pictures, whether it's, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how would you feel at that?
I wouldn't have an issue with that. He can have an appreciation for it and not want me to show it to another man.
Right. Mm-hmm. Because ultimately, those type of men. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It all is contingent on that communication, that vulnerability, and trusting in the person that you've chosen to be with. And ultimately, at the end of the day, it's all about me and the permissions that I give. So it's not like I don't give complete control away. I still have the final say. Mm-hmm. However, if I'm going to fall into the dynamic of a man is the man of the house, well, then here you go. Just recognize that I too can leave the house. And so I give you this permission, but should you ever betray this, just know that it stops at that point.
Period.
And I was going to say, we give men the illusion that they actually have a say.
That they actually want shit.
They actually don't. It's the respect, just like how she said. And ultimately, the bras pictures that he liked, I know what type of bras they are. And like she said, he definitely don't want me out here like that. He definitely he don't want nobody liking my pictures like that. He gonna want me carrying myself like a lady, because if I'm dressing like that or showing my pictures like that on there, it's going to attract a certain type of man. And that type of man is going to come to cause destruction. So, yeah, he don't want that on there online.
Not necessarily. If you have confidence in yourself and he has confidence in you, that's where the trust come in at.
Yeah, and I think that's how my dynamic is, because my man's a photographer and I like to take spicy photos, you know what I'm saying? And like, if I do want a lingerie shoot, one, he's my man, he gonna take the pictures regardless. And two, it's art. Like, for me, it's art. Like I said, when I was bringing it up to Goddess about, the man liking the pictures and wanting to, like, we both appreciate women's bodies. So like, I don't have a problem with them liking pictures, but then he doesn't have a problem with me posting a certain way, as long as it's respectful. Obviously, it's never going to be sloppy. It's never going to be ratchet. It's going to be with purpose, and it's going to be art. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it just depends on the dynamic of the couple. Like, that's all.
True, for sure. My next question is, their next question that I'm presenting to y'all is, why do some ladies think they are not good enough for a man?
Trauma.
Yeah. Oh, baggage.
Yep.
Yeah. I was gonna say
Low
insecurities.
self-esteem
Or they
issues.
brainwashed.
Yeah. But that all comes with trauma, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Bring all of that
All of
with
that
you.
comes from what you've grown up in.
Yeah.
Yes.
And what's instilled in you, right?
Right.
Mhm.
So,
I hate that for some women. I really do, because
Right.
women don't even understand how powerful we are. Like it's so funny that's the question, because I was just telling my husband last night. I was like, "Dang, babe, my old boss called, and he was like, 'Girl, I miss you. I need you to come back and help out.'" I was like, yeah, no. He's like, "I just loved how you carry yourself with confidence and how you just walked around here a certain way." And I was thinking about how I was back then. It was just like, no one could tell me nothing. No one can tell me nothing now. Plus size and all. Can't nobody tell me nothing. And
But that comes
oh, go ahead. I'm
that
sorry.
comes with self-esteem, though. That's self-esteem,
Yeah.
and it's called self-esteem for a reason, because it's yourself. Nobody can make you feel bad about yourself. That's what women get it twisted at, because they feel like that because somebody call you ugly, that's their opinion. That don't mean that's true.
Right.
If you don't feel like you pretty, then who is?
Well, if that's something that's been programmed in you from childhood, then you would believe it. So, even though it's self-esteem, I think everyone has instance where a person helps build their self-esteem. Like, I might see someone online who says they don't feel beautiful. I'm going to go out my way to make sure I tell that person that they feel beautiful, because if they hear it from enough people, then they're going to say, this must be a little bit true. And even though they should have that self-esteem themselves, sometimes it takes for another.
Oh, you breaking up? Can y'all hear her?
Who, me?
No, she froze.
She froze.
You back now. You back now.
On spectrum.
I actually, to the question, I can only speak for myself. So my first time was taken from me. Several different times after that was taken from me. So if I've been subjected to be objectified my whole entire life, all I feel is that is my only worth. So taken into recent events, I needed some kind of assistance, but I can't get assistance because men have this dynamic that if I'm not fucking them or sleeping with them, they can't help me. And then it's just, so if my only true value has ever been you being able to stick then what am I? And so we have to always fight that. Now, there's some people that are super confident in that, but I've been on the end of swallowing things by force, so how do you change the objectification? So maybe there's, it does fall into trauma, but it goes more to society too, because now I am subjected to this stereotype of being easy because so many men have taken advantage of me. And now to this day, even though I'm demanding respect now, a man can still jump in my inbox and tell me, hey, what are you going to do for me, pretty little thing? And if I react to that, then it's a whole different can of worms. So there's just so many different avenues and tunnels that are coming at us as a woman at one given time. And it's not just from the men. It's from ourselves. It's from other women. It's from different races. It's from different cultures. It's from the government. Women as a whole should be able to come together, but we can't because we are always fighting invisible enemies and a preconception of societal views.
Right.
That's when we got to start. That's when we have to start speaking life into ourselves.
Yeah.
Right.
We have to understand that we live in a messed up culture, a messed up society. And just because society is messed up doesn't mean I have to function the way that society says I have to function and be messed up too. So how I got over my trauma is I had to realize, I'm not sure if everybody's religious or not, but I had to realize God did not put me on this earth for nothing. And every single thing that I've So once I realized I didn't walk through fire, I had to really realize, like, dang, chick, you didn't been through it all. You have not broken. I have bent, but I have not broken. And that gave me the strength to realize if I can go through that and make it through that, hell, I can do anything. And am I allowed to cuss?
Yeah.
Fuck everybody else.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody got problems. Everybody fucked up. Fuck everybody. That's where I'm at. Fuck you. Fuck your mama. Fuck your cat. Everybody got fucking problems. So once you say fuck it, I think that's what Cat Williams said. When you get that fuck it in you, that's when you're going to build up your strength, because fuck everybody and their opinions.
I think it's really, honestly, womanhood is, I feel like it's a journey and it's a process, and everybody has their own stuff that they're going to deal with and they're going to go through. But I feel like what makes adults different than children is this level of innocence and naivety and ability to this lack of like self-consciousness and judgment and internal dialogue that's like beating ourselves up before you get exposed to the real world. So like realizing that like, okay, once you become like self-aware of like everything in life and yourself and stuff, that's when you get all these other things going on. You realize, oh, like, dang, like me and old dude, we used to be homeboys, but now he's just like all the big bad men in the world now, since he's come into what it is, like the patriarchy and all this other stuff, and blah, 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 blah. And you get hit with this big ton of bricks and you got your own traumas and all the other things, but just reprogramming yourself and allowing yourself to be self-aware but not self-conscious, being able to be honest with yourself and pour into yourself in the best ways possible, will help combat the whole not feeling good enough. Because I mean, like, I don't know if y'all seen a Barbie movie, and it might just be looking like because a Barbie movie, but it really does have some underlying little, and that might sound really childish for me to bring that up, but I'm not, because it does have some underlying little things in there where it's really talking about, it's a whole little monologue, like a minute or two, and you can see it online now, where it's talking about the difficulties of being a woman. And like, if you really look at like the underlying foundation of what the whole movie is about, it talks about that struggle and stuff like that. So definitely say give it a watch. But just valuing your own experiences, not expecting anybody else to push their ideas of who you're supposed to be on you. So what, they think you're supposed to be like this way, do what you're gonna do, blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, so be it. Really, honestly, truly, so be it. It's whatever. Like, if they don't like you, so be it. They think you're supposed to be this way, so be it. Because at the end of the day, would you rather somebody sit there and be like thumbs down to you because you sitting here trying to be like everybody else, or they saying thumbs down to you because you was being yourself? I'd rather just everybody not like me and I'm me, because at least I can sleep
right.
At night.
Right.
But yeah, so that's my spill on that. But the next question is, if you're not legally married, what keeps you from talking to other men?
My integrity.
The relationship.
Myself.
Yeah.
That sounds like a man question, because what?
I think
the girl is not her. She said it's
the women nowadays, they don't have a ring on it, they not committing.
I mean, right, but it it depends on the woman. It depends on the situation. Like, if you in a situationship, like how we started hookup culture, if you got somebody you exclusively hooking up with, technically y'all not together, and you can do what you want on either side. You know what I'm saying?
There's that's not cheating though. That's not.
It's not right.
As somebody on the on the catcher side of that equation, that's icky. So I could never have multiple pitchers on the mound. It's gross. It's just gross for me.
Shit, it took me a long time to learn to be faithful. It took me a long time to be faithful. Shoot.
No, I have had 4 relationships in the last 23 years. I literally, I'm not a temple because I did some strange, but I just am really, I recognize even now that there's just too much more. I've got to take in your energy and your essence. I'm going to pass. It's just too exhausting.
Yeah. 19-year-old, 20-year-old me would not have been faithful to nobody, because I just wasn't faithful to nobody. Because 19-year-old me was like, Dang, it's a lot of D out here. It's looking kind of good. So 19-year-old me is like, man, get it.
The 19-year-old me got out of a terrible, terrible, traumatic relationship, and I was just, you know what? I'm gonna use you. You gonna pay this bill. You gonna pay this bill.
Right.
You gonna buy me clothes. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I only asked for a bag of popcorn. I had a man who was going to buy me all kinds of clothes and I wouldn't accept it. And he forced me to get something. And so I got a bag of popcorn and I was the happiest girl alive. I don't want a man to spend money on me. That turns me off. I want to know you. I don't care what you have in your wallet.
I don't care what you got in your wallet, but it is an added bonus. But, you know, it's not just a take. If you look out for me, see, the thing is, when they looked out, they knew when they stopped by, they was going to have a meal. If they was going through something, I was going to be that ear and I was going to be that shoulder to cry on. It wasn't just a take relationship. And I think that's why I was able to accumulate the relationships. And it wasn't a lot. It's like 4 people, but you know, but with those people, I could depend on them. They could depend on me. I have friends like right now, you know, when I went through like my separation, because I went through a separation for a while, I had a guy who used to drive 2 hours just to come and see me and not do nothing, just take me out because the conversation, like if he was going through something, I knew him enough where I said, okay, we need to talk. What's going on? Get this off your chest. I think that when a man realizes that it's a requirement for him to step with something. And I ain't talking about just money, but when you approach a woman, if you're not going to be there to help add to her, I don't think you need to be around a woman. And I think that they recognize that they're not just going to add to me and I not add to them. We're watering each other and we're both going to grow. And I think that's why I had the encounters that I had. But I watched my mom and my aunts, you know, and I watched how they interact with people. And I just knew that it wasn't okay for me to be laying with people and they think that was it. They was going to lay with me and you ain't laying me for free. I ain't a prostitute, but I'm just saying, bro, what?
Yeah. I mean,
contribute.
It depends on the situation, because if it's a mutual thing, like, okay, you know, we could do that's cool. That's the hookup, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it's kind of like the reverse, like where God has said how a woman can't go to a man and ask for genuine help without them wanting something. It's kind of the same thing, because it's like if a man hits you up and he's like, you know, I wanna, and it's like, you know what? I mean, I don't mind, but I mean, what can you really give me, honestly, other than that? Like, I'm really interested to see what else we can do. Maybe we can out other than you just wanting to have me all the time. Like, maybe you know what I'm saying, with you. Like, maybe I want something else from you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, I personally, I wouldn't cheat in my current relationship because I have finally accepted that sex and time are absolutely transactional for me. They are absolutely transactional. What can you offer me? Whether we're having sex or you're getting some of my time, what can you offer me? Either you're feeding into my spirit or you're feeding into my pocket, but you're feeding something.
Right.
So, or you feed me. But whatever, I'm hitting. You know,
that work too.
Like you, baby. I like to eat. So, whatever the case is, my time is transactional, and with my current relationship, I can't fathom anyone offering me more than he can offer me right now. And he's giving me respect. He's giving me time. He's giving me communication. Giving me man. So, you know, like, I can't. No one can
get too getting that tea secret.
I don't want to cut nobody off, but this conversation is getting good. But I really have to go. It was really nice to meet you. I can't wait to be able to do this again at some point. I'm a realtor, so like, hit me up if y'all ever want to look for houses.
What area you in?
If you ever want to be interviewed on my show, you're more than welcome.
But for the most part, I can still help you look for houses outside of the triangle.
Before you go, give yourself a shout out. Tell the people how they can hear your stuff, talk to you, get in touch with you, blah blah blah, blah and all that good stuff before you.
So my realtor Instagram is Damiana Realty. Because Damiana is my first name. Hi, my name's Damiana. Latone is my artist name. But that's what Eric knows me by. So I put it up here just because, you know. But it's Damiana Realty. I put it in the chat for you so you can see, and I'll put my phone number as well. But yeah, you can hit me up whenever.
Thank you so much for giving us some of your time, dropping your gems, sharing your personality and stuff with the people and with us. Definitely appreciate it.
I appreciate you guys listening. I really enjoyed it, and it was really fun to see the different perspectives.
You put your Facebook also?
Facebook, yes.
Can we, before Latone goes, just give it up to Destiny for running Eric's show tonight?
I'm trying.
Oh, you're doing a wonderful job.
Yeah, you're doing great.
You're doing a great job.
So yeah, that's my socials.
Yes.
It was nice to meet you. Connect with me, please. I would love to connect with you guys further. And y'all have a good night.
Bye.
Good night.
Right. Okay. We're going to use her as our transition to this next question. Because honestly, I ain't even going to hold you. I'm going to tell Eric afterwards. All of these questions are so deep that they could have been like little episodes or half episodes themselves. And we're trying to get through 11 questions in a timely manner. But these aren't 2-second questions. These are discussions. These aren't A, B, C, or D. But
have you heard how the men conversate? Because they'll be like, what is your take on apples? And they'll be like, they're red. Next question.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, we were not doing it with all women.
So it never changes. Okay, so note to self, that never changes. Okay, wow. The question is, why do women feel the need to compete with each other and not needing or wanting their baby daddies?
So what?
It says, why do women feel the need to compete with each other on not needing or wanting their baby daddies in their kids' life? And since they don't need them, why do they feel the need to bash them?
This sounds like
that's all depending on the female, because I've never bashed my daughter's father, even though he wasn't there. I let her grow up, letting her see him for what he are, so she can make her own decisions and not me bashing him, because like I said, if he had been there, she may not be who she is today.
Amen.
And is a reason why he wasn't there, and maybe he had to get himself together, you know what I'm saying? That's why I told her. And to this day, like, she doesn't hold him accountable for not being there, because she was like, he still is well, I ain't gonna say that out loud, but anyway. Because I don't know who's gonna see this episode. But I just never talk bad about him, because she gonna see as that kid's gonna see as they grow up who's really there for them. You know what I'm saying?
So I had a different take. I was very honest with my daughter. Her dad was a douche canoe, and I believe that with every fiber of my being. However, I've always expressed, this is my opinion of your father. You are entitled to have your own, but I believe in honesty, and I didn't make a mistake because I got you. However, given the current climate, he could jump and I would watch. Not really, but still, I was very honest with her, because that was for me. It wasn't about protecting her.
Now, I want to speak to my current situation, because I'm currently still in this mix of, I can't really call it co-parenting, because the other parent is not doing their co-part. But to his kids, he looks like the world's best dad, because I grew up in a household where my mother never talked bad about our fathers in front of us, to us, even though we may have seen some things in their relationship between them that we were like, what? But as my siblings grew up, they realized they father ain't shit. And so I've always came to the notion that when my kids grow up, they'll see the fuck shit that my baby daddy is doing. Now, I don't believe all women talk bad about their baby father.
Just open the door. Oh, sorry. About that, I needed my laptop charger and it slided underneath the door and I was clicking mute.
Oh my God. I was about to say I didn't open the door for nothing, but no.
I'm gonna think about this for the rest of the night. Like,
oh Lord.
But for me, I always look at it too, like God has said, this is my opinion of your father. You have to make your own opinion. But I feel like when you badmouth somebody, because like my kids, they're my ride or die. If I don't fuck with you, they don't fuck with you. If I'm looking at you sideways, they looking at you sideways. Like, why my mama don't like you? So I make a point to keep my opinions to myself, even if it's about that person that helped bring them into this world.
I gave him that respect for the first little bit, and my daughter can hear everything I'm saying right now because that's just how I roll. But he had, up until the point he told me that her being gay was a phase. After that, he was dead to me. So I no longer had to protect him after that point because he wasn't protecting her.
I get that. I mean, I've been through some stuff with my kid's dad, but I think for the most part, when we did go through stuff and we beef, I never spoke ill of him to our son because my mother didn't do it to me about my dad. And I remember I was little and my mom and my dad was having an argument and I heard them arguing. And when my dad left, I was upset with him because he had upset my mom. And I said, I hate him. My mom says, that's your daddy. Don't you ever speak bad about him. You understand? Whatever we go through. That has nothing to do with you. And so whenever me and my son's father would go through stuff, that's the thought that was always in the back of my head. Right. And I said, you know what? Whatever, my baby dad go through with me, I'm not gonna, trickle it down to my son. I think my son heard him call me a B, and it made him, and this happened like last year, and my son's 16 now. And it was the first time he heard his dad disrespect me, not my husband. But he was like, I ain't like him for that. See, I didn't have to say that because he can make up his own mind. That's not me pressuring him. You're showing your colors to your child. It is your responsibility to give this baby the illusion of who you are, or give him an idea to who you are. And if this is what you're showing him, he's going to take you to face value. So even he made me mad last week. I said, you know what? I'm not going to respond to him. He said something to piss me off. I said, and I realized me giving him that energy doesn't harm him. It harms me. And I think these baby moms, they don't understand that. I think they think that when they bash them, it's going to tarnish the way other people think about them. And they're trying to damage their reputation because they know that they ain't crap. But at the end of the day, most people see another woman online, especially when you're Black. It's another bitter baby mama. No, you can't give him that power. Don't let him see you sweat. If you have to do it on your own, pick your head up. Keep on doing what you're doing. Don't contact him for nothing. And he'll sort it out. Let the court sort it out. If you go get child support. If he's not taking care of his responsibility, it is his duty to help you. Don't go put a good man on child support who's there every weekend picking up that baby, taking that baby, doing what they got to do, and giving you cash. Now that's just bitter. But if that man is not doing what he's supposed to be doing and hurting that baby, first of all, protect the baby. If he gonna keep hurting that baby, I would keep the baby from him because that hurts. But that's my take on it.
Okay. Well, so what the question is asking, why are we in competition with our child's father?
Nah, the question was like, I guess it was a two-parter. It was like, why do women feel they need to compete with each other? I don't even know if whoever said this question and knew what they were trying to say. It seems like what they're trying to say was, first was like, why women feel the need to make it a whole parade about not needing no man to help them with their kids, and then bashing them when they don't help them after they sat there and said they need them in the first place. That's what it seemed like they asking, and I don't see nobody doing it unless they the ones who be like really just bitter because they did the most. So, but based off the responses given, I definitely feel like y'all answered that. So I'm gonna go ahead and I think this is the last question I have, and it's: would y'all rather split the household bills 50-50, or you want an old school, your husband paying all the bills and making the rules of the house, and you doing what you're supposed to be doing?
I don't pay not one bill, and he don't make no damn rules.
I listen.
You said what was the question, Destiny?
Do you want to pay the bills 50-50, or you want your man to pay the bills and you do the cooking and the cleaning and the wash everything like they said in that Tyler Perry movie?
Well, I do all this.
Well, I do all that anyway. I pay half the bills.
I thought you said making the rules. I about to say the hell.
Yeah. It said him paying all the bills. Do you want your man to pay all the bills and make the rules while you do everything else, or you just want him paying all the bills?
Nah, he can pay all the bills, and I'm gonna do my duties. I'm gonna make sure he is fed. I'm gonna make sure when he come home, he got some peace of mind. I'm gonna make sure I make him feel really good. I'm gonna make sure when he's going through and work ain't, working for him, I'm his confidant. I'm gonna make sure my baby all right. Because if he is not mentally okay, then he can't pay these damn bills. So he need to be mentally okay, right, and physically okay too. And I'm gonna make sure my baby's all right. Because if I have to come to that job, I will. Shit.
Oh, shoot. Actually, that wasn't the last question. Actually, the last question is, if, I promise this is the last question. If a man is craving intimacy in a relationship other than sex, does that make him suspect?
You said what?
Oh, what?
The men folk want to know that if they want other intimacy that's other than sex, does that make them suspicious?
No.
He's
depending on what they want done.
Wait. Maybe I didn't understand the question. What?
No, depending on what they want done. Because I mean, they don't sound like they make you suspect. Yeah.
Well, no, she said other than sex.
I guess it depends on what your understanding of intimacy is.
So, like for me, we had a day where my significant other came over and we blended seasonings together. That's a form of intimacy. He comes over and he just sits on the couch and he creates just in my energy. That's a sense of intimacy. So I think that without a true definition of what the man is expecting, we can't fully, as women sitting here right now, answer that question. That's an unfair question, and men really need to shut up. Because these questions are asinine. They are really coming from a male perspective. They don't give a shit about the female perspective. They really just want to show where they're unhappy. And I'm saying that because I kind of see some of where these questions would come from other casters, and I see them outside of these questions. So this is a justification to give them further ammunition to say this is why a man needs to read.
Women read too much into stuff. How did you get all of that from that question? Women read too much into that.
It's a series of questions.
Yes.
No, ma'am. I actually am going to push back on that. I know the crowd in which these questions come from. So I know kind of where the men are coming from because I see them outside of these questions.
You don't see all of them, though. We would have to take a census. We would have to do some scientific research. We would have to apply the scientific method to get to what you're saying. We have no data on who asks these questions. I think that. Go ahead.
I definitely get what she's saying for sure, because nowadays, everything that's like deep, I honestly feel like the older generation of men, while there's some things I saw where they was like, you know what, I really wish they would bring that back, because that was just basic chivalry. And there's other things where I'm just like, chill out. And a lot of that is just linked to toxic masculinity. And that's just the reality of the situation. But what I'm saying is, let me finish right quick. What I'm saying is, like, intimacy is deep, like, what they're saying, like, a lot of guys consider intimacy is just being sex. So when they correlate intimacy to just being sex, they'll think that anything that's actual intimacy outside of sex is suspicious. And that's a reality because there are studies done on that. And when you ask, I do like plenty of panels and stuff on campus. We have older people on the panels, younger people on the panels, all types of people. And the reality right now is like a lot of men don't feel like they can express these different emotions associated with intimacy that's outside of sex.
Masculine women.
Suspicious. You said what?
That's due to masculine women.
No. I feel like that's definitely not it.
I'm gonna have to fight for the men on this.
Yeah, you can fight for them, but I definitely feel like at the end of the day, a lot of the patriarchal issues and a lot of this whole idea of like why men aren't vulnerable in the first place, which leads to them feeling uncomfortable with other forms of intimacy that's not sex, is toxic masculinity and them feeling like they need to be the man's man all the time. But they were trying to be the man's man even when women couldn't do nothing but cook and clean back in the days and they was wearing robes and stuff all the time.
That is not a thing.
So,
that is not.
It's definitely a thing, but I guess
it's something that was made up.
I disagree with.
Masculinity is something that was made up by feminists.
That's true.
Listen, I want you guys to think deeper. I want to try to help elevate you.
Toxic masculinity is finally giving terminology for something that previously.
I sat here and talked about trans women, which
you said this. You said older men, they want you to cook, clean, do stuff that you used to do back in the day. There's nothing wrong with that. It's called having standards, but there are so many women who complain about that. Yet they want a man to pay their bills. Yet they want a man to take care of them. But they can't even do the basic necessities.
That's a generalization. The same way we were just talking about women generalizing.
No.
At the end of the day, if a man is going to expect all the time, so he's going to expect a woman to fulfill
that's not a
stereotypical rule of a woman. He's not going to show up. Tell you what to do. You can't tell you what to do.
That is the whole hot girl era. Most of these women nowadays don't know how to cook. They don't know how to clean. A lot of them aren't raising their kids. A lot of men nowadays are single fathers. And this is the data out there.
Generalization. The same thing we were just talking about not doing for men.
But to sit there and say that men don't want intimacy is a lie.
I never said men didn't want intimacy. I said that there's a preconceived notion of what basically associated intimacy with.
This is BS question because the way they had the question line up. I interview men all the time on my podcast, and the number one thing that they always say is that when they're trying to express the way that they feel, women don't hear them. Men tell us what they want, but we're so focused on nitpicking through everything that they said that we don't hear the basic things.
They miss it.
And that's definitely true. People do be like that, but like we can't generalize for sure because I feel like we've said a lot of things about how men are leading up to this moment, and now it's like a completely different situation now that we're talking about intimacy. And the whole question is it suspicious for a man to want intimacy that's other than sex? And it's not. We were supposed to be saying yes or no.
But look at the culture. Every time a man does something different, a woman labels him as gay. If a man breaks up,
but the idea of them being labeled as gay comes from this concept of what masculinity is supposed to look like. So yes, some women do it, but a lot of this, that goes on with men is a lot of like. And a lot of things men do aren't even for like female attention. It's from other guys.
If a man wants to just lay with you after making love to you, then he's labeled as gay. That is just the new norm.
That's not a new norm. People would say that all the time. Not back in the day, because men.
I
feel like we have
complete searching for intimacy because the way they grew up, they weren't even they didn't even know what intimacy meant.
And that's what I'm saying. They didn't have this. They didn't know what intimacy was outside of sex, which is what led to the whole question of intimacy.
They're growing, evolution.
They're growing. So I'm saying we can't generalize.
So men in my age group know now because a lot of them seek counseling, and kudos to the Black community and the Black men because they're leading right now with counseling. They're seeking counseling and they're learning that this was something that they were lacking, and now this is what they want. You know what I'm saying? So I think that if a man wants to come over, like you said, make seasonings, that is the sexiest, most intimate thing that you could do with a man. But another man, another woman, nigga, that's gay.
Yeah, I never said some people don't say that. Like, I honestly, we just went down a rabbit hole. All I was saying was that a lot of men really, they had this preconceived notion of what it was to be intimate, and they only associated with sex. And as soon as I said that, we went down this rabbit hole of like apparently, I guess I explained myself, or I didn't express myself as effectively as I was planning to.
I wasn't talking to Goddess originally, because
okay.
And just to further clarify
what you said, because I just feel like some women don't know what the heck they want. I think that women, we try to tell men how to be a man. How we gonna tell we're mad at the trans community trying to tell us how to be women. How the hell we gonna sit here and try to tell a man how to be a man?
I don't. But I think that these questions came in a group format. So let me further clarify. When you're talking to individual men on a one-on-one basis, you get to see a little bit more of their intimate side, a little bit of their softer side. But given the way the questions are phrased as a linguist, this is a group question. And so the question comes from a broader perspective. And so that's why I'm saying there's some extra justifications in here. And so, you have to look at the live videos, you have to look at the live conversations. And so that's where some of these questions come from. And so that's where I'm basing some of my passion.
Yeah, I understand where everybody's coming from.
I get that. But, I just feel like there's an attack on men, and particularly our men, Black men. And I am just not for it. Like, I'm just not for it, because I just feel like our men, Black men, have the capability to run and rule the world. And I just feel like if they're loved properly and they're allowed to be men and be human, I just feel like men aren't simply allowed to just fucking be human. Like, if I could fucking cry and then fucking throw a fit and then love my husband all in 5 minutes, why can't this man be confused about what intimacy is? And I'm confused about what the fuck I'm feeling right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, give them some grace. We're giving all these, everyone says, give the trans community some grace, give the others some grace. Men deserve grace too, because they don't just get it on one side of the track. They get it from us. When they turn down people who are trans, they getting it from them. They have to go into work. They have to deal with that. There are so many things and so many battles that men have to face. And like I said, counseling and mental health has just been the norm for men. So men are really trying to catch up with us, mentally. And I mean, just healthy mentally. I ain't saying they perfect. They're not, but they do have to go through some evolution. And I think that they're learning a lot, and a lot of them do want to communicate with us. I do believe that a lot of them do want intimacy, and a lot of them don't even know what it means, because it hasn't been presented by their fathers. Their dads don't even know what intimacy is. Their mothers probably don't even know what intimacy is. Women, we're so adaptable. And we don't have no choice, because we're the ones who raise families. Men, they can go off and do whatever they want to do, but we have to adapt. And I think that they're learning to adapt, and they want to adapt. And I just don't want to close that door when they're like, oh, here go angry Black women again. They don't fucking believe us for shit. I just don't want to shut that door.
For me, just this last point, but I want to teach my man how to love me. I don't expect him to come in knowing how. So, and that's the same way for me to love him. So all of that is a progression of evolution of a relationship, but I would never close the door on him. I'm just saying that sometimes the overgeneralization doesn't allow us any room to be gray. And I choose to be gray. I don't live in a black and white existence as it relates to intimacy and the male and female dynamic in the relationship. I actually told my man the other day that I wanted to flip roles with him, and I wanted him to be the woman because I wanted to show him affection. I wanted him to be pampered. And he
did you say you want him to be the woman? That doesn't necessarily mean that he has to be the woman. All you had to say to him was, I want you to experience what this feels like. You don't necessarily.
Actually,
does not have to be
a conversation I had with my man. So I'm sharing a conversation I had with my man. I'm not generalizing. This is specific to us. And so we are at a level of comfortability that he knew what I meant. Yeah. The gender is society. It wasn't us. I want to take what society says a woman is supposed to get from a man. The flowers, the roses, the candy. And I want him to be able to experience that too. not generalization. Just goddess and her demon. That's it.
Let me apologize because I feel like I came off too rough. I don't want you to feel attacked. I apologize for. I mean, man, I've been doing this for too long. I'm so used to doing this with men. So
it's cool. Honestly,
I'm sorry.
I feel like maybe next time if I ever host anything, I'm gonna be like, let's all be on one accord. We all understand that we're gonna have our own opinions. It might come off a different way, but we're gonna say this is what we actually meant. But before we get too deep, because honestly, I'm gonna tell Eric that he might have to run this back as a part 2 type time, because honestly, all of you have really great perspectives. But we gonna wrap it up, because guess what? We have a special guest. One last little piece of something before we end it. Before we end it, I don't know. Maybe it's Eric. Maybe it's not. For all you know, I could have had Michelle Obama on speed dial.
Maybe.
Let me see.
Can I say something, Destiny, before you end it about the end?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Listen, no way. It comes in all ways. It comes in all forms, even with men and women. It's just how you and your person, partner, whatever, wants to do it. You know what I'm saying? It's not just, I got what she was saying. She wanted him to feel like a woman. It's okay to shower a man with gifts. It's like you want him to shower you with gifts. So I understand. That's cool. I like that. Because I'm like that too. Because I might come home with a pair of new kicks and be like, yo, I just bought these for you. Because I want to see him get super crazy. Right. So, you know, they want to feel loved and feel appreciated as well. Not me just coming home bringing you all the money. And I say that because my husband is the type of person, he been throwing bread for years. For 25 years, he just came home here. He got my whole check. Do what you need to do with it. You know what I'm saying? So that being said, I still like just shower him gifts. Like now he don't even know how to take it, because like I had him $500 the other day. And he was like, "What's this for?" Do what you want to do with it, you know. And he like you know, because they're not used to that. You know what I'm saying? They're not used to us women giving. We always want to take and take. And, you know, and we want them to shower us and buy us and give us the world. But we forget about their feelings and their emotions. Sometimes it's just a conversation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That can be intimacy too, because that's a conversation. You come in the house, how was your day?
Right.
Tell me all about your day. You know what I'm saying? It don't have to be about sex. It can be about what he did that day. Because, you know, it might be stressful on the job.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it could be stressful for that car ride coming home in that traffic. You know? The thought that I come home late at night, you know, he on the phone like, you know, I'm up till you get here to make sure I made it home safe, because I get sleep in a minute. So he like, yo, and I have an hour, 10-minute ride. So he like, I'm going to talk to you till you get home. But I'm like, I know you in the bed. You know, you can go to sleep. Nah, I want to make sure you make it home. You know, things like that. So it's not, it's the small things that we do in a relationship on both sides.
Right.
To make our relationship better.
Yeah.
That's all I had to say.
A woman can heal their inner child.
Yeah.
And that's a power that is amazing that many of us don't realize.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I want to, like I said, I want to apologize, Goddess, again, because I agree with what you were doing. But the reason why I said, when you said you're going to be the girl, it's just like I all I think about is society, how they always try to, when a guy tries to be pampered by his woman, because what you did for him, that was so sweet. But if he would have said that to one of his guys, you know what they're going to say? That nigga gay. It's always like that. And that's why I was saying, I want us to get into a habit where he doesn't have to be feminine, because his woman is showering him with gifts or pampering him or going to get a pedicure with his woman. Them feet look cute, because you see some of these men's feet.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Catch you up.
I take care of some. I done took care of some of them. I can't look at them though.
I love you. Like, you ladies are live. I like y'all. Like,
okay, I'm trying to get my guest on.
But sorry.
Come on. You could I'm not even talking about y'all. I'm actually talking to them, because I know they here. So you can hear me.
Oh, they playing.
Hi, Eric.
You're on mute.
You on mute, Eric.
You on mute.
All right, I'm here. What's up, y'all? Let me tell you this. Y'all are some damn talkative ass women. What's up, y'all?
You already knew that.
Damn, y'all made every
I
damn
was about to
discussion.
say.
Y'all made every damn discussion deep as hell. Thank you, though. Hey, yo, man, I appreciate it, y'all. Thank y'all so much for coming on tonight. Oh, my God. Y'all had me over here in tears. And look, hey, hold on. I'm going to just say a couple things real quick. Hey, Secret, what you going to do with your neck get loose, girl? All right. Hey, and Goddess, the question didn't come from who you thought it came from.
See, I stopped short of the name. But I know the group.
Nope, it didn't come from the group at all.
I was just like,
I asked preachers, I asked hood niggas, I asked regular niggas, I asked them all for these questions, and they came.
But it's a group of niggas. That's what she said.
But it's not the same group of niggas that she thought.
But given the climate in which you hang, you know where I was coming from.
And won't. You need to tell your damn cousin to do the same shit you do. Give me some shoes when I come home. I want $500. Tell her the same shit. I want it. And now I need a Lord to get back. I know a Lord back there fixing her.
I'm right here.
Fix your bra. Look, I know.
Don't try to play my cousin. She do date night every weekend. Don't do that. Once a month. Don't do that.
We do date night once a month.
She do it too. Once a month. Don't do that.
Allure, you up here starting shit. Look, I see your husband back there tiptoeing. You trying to start some shit? Don't you disrespect my little sister like that?
I'm sorry. Wait, who? I'm sorry. No, I apologize. You know what? Me and Goddess have been on multiple podcasts together. You probably don't remember me, girl.
You know what? I do, but I don't, because I've gone through a lot of mental crisis over the last couple of weeks. So
yes. But look,
I know Eric.
Before we get into that, and Zakia, let me tell you right, baby girl, you were looking for me. I'm here.
I remember.
Listen, next time let Destiny choose questions, and then we can have a real discussion.
Well, she's new, and she wanted to get the little feel of it. I want her to get the feel of it, and I think she did a great job.
She did a good job.
Yes.
Great job. Before I do my close, let's clap it up for my little sister again, man. Y'all, thank you so much, Destiny. I know she snuck out the room. Thank you so much. Hey, y'all, I love the fact that y'all got this shit going at the end. I was like, oh my God. But thank y'all so much. Before we end tonight, I want everybody to shout out what y'all do, your podcasts, your shows, your businesses. Go ahead, Wonk, that's on you, girl. But I want everybody to shout out what they do. Who's gonna start?
Well, y'all already know me, the shit starter, aka Allure Danny. Y'all already know they got a documentary coming out about me called Surviving Allure. So anyways, no, but my podcast is called the Allure Hour Podcast with Allure Danny. I'm a content creator. I'm in school for surgical tech. Mommy of 7, wife. I got my hands in so many pots. I be on here all day and all day.
Well, I'll go next. Zakia, like I told y'all earlier, host and creator of Cooking with Positivity. I'm also an author, podcaster. I promote other people's businesses on my podcast. I do work for other authors. I'm out here like you, Laura. I do too damn much sometimes, but I'm here for all of it.
Period.
Who's next?
Okay. I go. I'm Goddess. I am host of Healing Out Loud, Unhinged While Anchored. So that way y'all can get a full grasp of what I'm doing. And my thing is really just being vulnerable on a very public stage, without fear of embarrassment. And Eric can attest, I cry all the time. And it's just giving people a safe space to know that big emotions are not bad emotions. And sometimes as human, we have really dark emotions and we need somebody to hear those without judgment.
All right. Secret Wonk, one of y'all two.
Hey, y'all. And this is Secret. You can find me right here. Yep, that's my finger. Right here. That's my website. I'm a graphic and web designer. I will design anything, everything, whatever you need. Outside of that, you can follow me with my one post every 3 months on Instagram, she.b.ww. That's it.
It's on you, baby.
All right, y'all. I'm Tawanica. I own Out the Box Party Zone. I'm an event planner, and I also work as the CNA. So if y'all ever need anybody to set up any events, holler at your girl.
All right. See, look, man, I appreciate y'all over talkative ladies. Thank y'all so much for coming on tonight. And y'all answer all these guys. So you know what? I knew y'all gonna be in some deep or crazy shit. Whoever come first, I knew gonna be deep or crazy. But y'all, I got them both.
I just want to say, I think Laura and I have some debate shows coming up because I definitely on a whole different side from her.
Oh no, Laura, I didn't call my sister in there. I called my sister. Laura, she had your ass on the ropes, girl. I'm gonna call her back in.
It was a very good show. It was very good, and I think that we do need to have more of these because we all have different perspectives, and that's how we build the community.
Right. I agree.
One thing I want to say though, y'all, I can't wait for y'all to check out my next episode is gonna drop next week. It's my intimacy show, so y'all know what intimacy really is. Yo, so I can't wait till y'all check that out because that's wild. But y'all, man,
it's feelings.
It's not. Oh, it's some other type of feelings going on in that damn show.
Oh my God,
Lord,
going on in that show.
Don't make me look bad after I defended y'all damn men now.
I'm on the show now. They spoke their mind too now, but it was. Child. Anyway, now let me go ahead and do my closing. Hey y'all, this is your little big brother Eric G. I want to thank all these ladies for being a part of my show tonight. I also want to thank my little sis Destiny, man. She did a hell of a job tonight. I'm so happy that she came on and stepped in for the ladies' night. And because she's a future lady. So I appreciate it so much. Y'all, if y'all want to check out this show plus many more, go to my YouTube channel. That's Random Thoughts with Eric G. My Twitter, my IG, and my TikTok. Random Thoughts with Eric G. Y'all can find me on all platforms. That's Pandora, iHeartRadio, Google Pods, Google Pods, Apple Pod. Damn, I'm on the old folks channel. I'm on the old folks channel. I'm on all of them. Look, all of them. Damn it, you name it, I'm on it. All right. Look, I just want y'all to just have a good day, man. I appreciate y'all, ladies, and Latone, I appreciate you too, baby. And like I always say, God bless you. Peace.
All right, see you. Peace.